I'm very weary with everyone that I'm around because the last 4 years it has been someone in my circle. And so now every time I say bye to my mom or I say bye to my sisters, there was one time that I like had a panic attack because I had thought about it that day. I didn't say bye to my mom after she got out of the car. I drove back to her house and I didn't tell her bye again. I just like pretended like I forgot something because I didn't want to be stupid and be like, I don't know if you're gonna die this year, but I'm just gonna tell you bye. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I just forgot something. And then I was like, bye, Mom. And then I left and I like felt better. But it's like, now I have that feeling of like, was that the last time that I could have said bye to her? Or like, if I don't say I love you after I hang up the phone with my sisters, I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, it's so unhealthy because you can't live on the edge like that.
Yes, but no, but I do understand though, because that's so funny because the other day I was at work and the environment just kind of felt off a little bit. And I don't know, I had that feeling too. I'm like, because sometimes I get in those moments as well, I'm like, really, anyone in this world could pass just like that. Not in like, I'm not saying that because we think that life is so dark or depressing. No, but like that's also, it is. And that's okay to think of that too. Again, don't be like, why are you thinking about that? Why are you talking about that? Like I still to this day, like I'm only 22, but I want to write my will because you never know, you know? And I want to get that out. I really think about that often. I think often about writing my will. Because that's a whole other story. And so I just like had that feeling again, just like of a loss or a death or just like the energy. And so immediately, every time I feel that, I'm like, I text my sister. I text my sister, I love you. I love the family. Like, I love you guys. I'll text my like very closest friends. Like, I love you. Just simply that I love you because I'm like, I need to get that out. But that really does go to show where we have no idea. This life is unpredictable. Whether it's something could happen, not even just death, but something could happen with us or a loved one or a neighbor. And so really just always remember how you say goodbye to someone. Always remember your attitude towards these people. If you get in fights, to just in the end say goodnight. Try to make that goal for every night. Anyone that you cause strife with or anger, to just tell them goodnight. Tell them I love you, because can you imagine a fight or a grudge or drama?
And then they die and you can't make up that fight because it was so stupid you don't even remember it.
Exactly.
There are so many of those for me. Like, there were so many things that I was mad at Bubba for before he died. Mm-hmm. And I don't even remember what they were. But I sacrificed the last, 5 days because I was mad about something that I don't even remember.
Exactly. So that's definitely something that I've come to learn is really, I have definitely come to learn to appreciate everyone around you. Even if it's a stranger walking by. I know sometimes I get in my mode where I just see what's right in front of me, but I really do try to appreciate the environment, the people, the friends, and try not to take people for granted, which sometimes I might not ever physically reach out to them, but there are so many people in my life that they don't know this. So many past coworkers, so many past people in school, family members, extended people that I met from traveling that literally pass in my heart every single day that I don't not think about them. Like, there's so many people that have touched my heart that I think about every day, where I might not physically say, hi, how are you doing? But doesn't mean that you're not in my spirit thinking about you.
It's true.
I guess one of the final things is, do you have any advice? Because we're still only human. We're still going through a lot of life, just like you guys are. But do you have any advice or something to say to anyone who have gone through losses, who feel like they're alone, or feel like they can't express it, feel like they're not allowed to feel, or don't know how to feel, or don't know how to take it in?
Well, we all know that I don't live by society's rules.
Which is why she's my friend, because that's...
I was just going to say fuck society, because honestly, it does paint a picture, because it needs to be perfect. For society, it needs to be perfect. We need to be a certain size. We need to hang out with a certain type of person. We need to feel a certain way about death. Don't talk about it. Don't advertise it. Don't do anything like that. Don't fucking create a show about it. Good God.
And don't smile and laugh while we're talking about it, because there's something so like disrespectful, or we're not.
Don't laugh at a funeral. That's what society says, and that's not what I say. So, if there's anything that you would like to learn from me, it's that you are a human, and you are you, and you feel the way that you feel. Oof. So if you feel sad, feel sad. If you feel happy, feel happy. Rejoice if you want to. Like, if you're at a funeral and everyone else is crying and you just have this sudden urge to be like, oh my God, like, I feel so much grace right now. Feel it. Because you know what? Like, not every funeral.
That's real.
Not every funeral is to be sad.
Yeah,
I know
black and like quiet every day. And...
Oh, I know. My mom wears yellow, guys. Or she'll just wear multicolors because it's not a time for loss for her. And that's something that I've learned. My mom colors outside the lines too. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's the way that you are grieving. And your way of grieving is correct. It's different than, mine is different from Kayla's. And it will always be different.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
We are grieving the same person, but like both of us are on different steps. So
different steps, but that still doesn't mean that we can't not connect like in a relation towards that too. Because if I might go to her and start crying and she's not, that doesn't mean that she's insensitive or she doesn't want to hear me, like, or
that I have to cry too.
Yeah, she doesn't. Like, it might just be my time to cry, or vice versa. So funny. That's interesting because with my mom, because again, the biggest loss that I've gone through was my mom. I mean, it's your mom, and so I think everyone around me, they're very sad, and I know I have moments of crying, but honestly, to this day, I would be scared to admit this because going by society, I would be afraid that people would think that I was being like heartless towards it. But I'm really grateful that my mom did pass away, because all my life with her, all my 17 years, she was always sick. She was always battling and fighting something. And so I know for those last few years of her life, she was really just fighting to be alive, just to be with me, my sister and I, her daughters, because we are her only purpose. And so to know that she is gone now, to me, in my eyes, like, she's dancing with God, she's doing her thing up there, but she's free from pain, from all of that. That's what makes me happy, and that's where I'm like, I'm happy about that. But like, that's okay to feel that. That's okay, or if you do feel peaceful or content or happy when someone passes. Of course, you'll have your moments of grieving, of sorrow, or of numbness, or of silence, or shock. Of course, I'm still going through all of that, but majority of it, I choose to see it and feel it in a better way.
Another way to feel, I think they said this at Jen's funeral, or maybe someone, I'm pretty sure someone told me it, but I'm also pretty sure that I heard the same thing at her funeral, and it may make both of us like cry. So she was blind and deaf, and when she passed, as a way to make people feel I guess better, but not like in a derogatory way.
This is the lady we both took care of. I don't know if we mentioned that. Jen.
Yeah. She went to a place where now she can see, and she, she can talk and she can see, and it's things like that. Like, she was so restricted here, and she was like living her best life though.
She loves Halloween. She loved trick-or-treating.
She will butter you up.
I have a shirt of hers, one of her pajama shirts, and I actually wore it last night. Like, I wear her pajama shirt every night.
See, it's things like that. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that. That's not sad, and you shouldn't feel like you can't admit that you do something like that, because
if anything, it makes us more excited to celebrate Halloween, not to like go trick-or-treating.
Yeah, it's all for her.
The year she passed, I told my roommate, I'm like, I'm dressing up as witches, and I'm going across Center Street and trick-or-treating. Like, I'm gonna fill this bag up for you.
But that's something that they had said I'm pretty sure that's what her dad said at her funeral,
Oh,
was
my
that
God.
he felt rejoiced because she could see and hear. And so any prayers that you would send up there, he was like, she can hear those. And here, she couldn't hear us praying for her. So that helped me.
And she gets to see.
Yes,
who
that's
we
like
are.
the biggest thing. It's
She's
like, oh
like-
my God, that was you?
That was it. You're the one who gave me those extra Oreos that night. Oh, you had my back.
You're the one that ran up and down the stairs with me on your back.
We could do a whole other video to talk about Jen.
Oh my God. I could talk about her all the time. I never talk about her.
I haven't either.
I'll admit, I haven't even accepted that she's gone. There was a lot of weird things that happened after she passed. I was already in like the worst depression I've ever been in.
Because you had also just had a death. Literally.
So
before her.
I had a great 2017 up until so I had a great year, and then in July I lost my grandma, but that one came as a shock because we didn't know until 2 days before she was dying. And so we had like 2 days to get our butts down to her house and say goodbye. So that one, I processed that one so fast, and I can't even explain like the whole thing. Like, I was not upset that she was dying. I didn't feel angry. I was sad, obviously, but like, I can't explain how I felt. I released her that very night that I left her house, and the next morning she died. And I can't even describe how free I felt when I was going home that night. I blogged the whole thing because I was like, I cannot even believe this is happening. I felt so okay with everything. And then, like 3 days later, I flew to Australia with my mom, had the time of my life, and then I came home, and I lost my 7-month-old niece, and then like 2 weeks later, maybe 3 weeks later, Jen died. And so I was already like in my like mode, and then Jen died, and I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Because I was already like, I woke up to my best friend and boss at the time pounding on my front door trying to get me to wake up because I was like passed out on melatonin. And I like opened the door and I was like, what? And she was like, Jen died, and just started crying. And I was like, what? And she was like, she's dead. And she's like crying, and she like went to hug me because like, you know, like, you're about to cry, right? And I just like stood there, and I just was like, okay. And I like went upstairs, and I like was putting my pants on to go, and Kyle wakes up and he's like, what's up? And I was like, Jen died. Like that. Just Jen died. And he was like, what? And he was feeling things.
Yeah.
He didn't even know her.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, she died. And I just like put my pants on. He's like, babe. And I just like left. Like, and she's all, do you want coffee before we go? And I'm all, sure. Like, it's still so surreal.
You're just like on
And,
trial,
like,
just going through about the day, like having people just control
I
for
did
you.
not accept it at all. Like, I didn't process. Literally watched her get carried out of the house,
Yeah.
and I felt nothing.
Yeah. That
Her
was the
mom's
moment.
crying. I felt nothing. She's hugging me. Annie, Annie. Nothing. And I was like, oh my God, they probably think I don't fucking care because I can't cry right now. So again, in my head, trying to think of like sad things so that I would hurry and cry, right?
Wow.
And then I'm like, but I can't cry because it's contrived. It's not real. So for a long time, that's what I would do. And I wouldn't go in her room afterwards. I wouldn't go upstairs unless I absolutely had to. And it's not because I was like, that was Jen's room. I just couldn't. And I started to have dreams about her nightly. And they would be like, the whole dream was about Jen, and I'd wake up and I'd remember every single part of it. Every single thing. And my mom was like, it's because you haven't done anything. Like, she's all, I've watched you cry, but it's like, I don't know if you're crying over Zaylee or over her. And so I think that like where I didn't process it at all, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where I was going with that one, but
just different ways how we can take it. Like, again, it's not always a picture perfect thing where it has to be this order in this way, this timeline you have to do it. It can be however you experience it for you.